So one of the easiest things for a hypnotist to do is to hypnotize someone into a childlike state. And I've been reading about like the torture involved in or the pain involved in hypnotism. How if someone's in a whole lot of pain, they can be hypnotized easier, but if it's only a little bit of pain, then they're not hypnotized easier unless they have impending death in their mind, like they think they might die. Then it's really easy to hypnotize them in that state. And putting someone in a childlike state is like one of the easiest things for a hypnotist to do. And it has the same effects as having someone look crazy, like where they're not taken seriously because they act really playful and childlike. And also trust is involved too. If somebody trusts someone, it's easier for them to be hypnotized. So, okay, just to compare like the mental illness possibility with like a childlike state, like what the outer effect is on perceptions from people from the outside, on the person that's in that state. So if you're believed to be crazy, you're not going to be taken seriously. If you're in a childlike state through hypnosis, then you're not going to be taken seriously because you're going to be playful and childlike, and people are just going to think you're silly and not take you seriously. You'll be distracted from disciplined accomplishments because you're just going to want to play. You're going to want to make everything fun and playful. The same thing goes for being crazy or believed to be crazy, or driven crazy from the stress. You're not going to accomplish as much that way. The other thing is more accepting of dependency. And that goes for both states too. And the reason why I bring this up is because I think I've been put into a childlike state through hypnosis. And I've been observing how my behavior's been changing since I started doing the slapping all over my body and breaking up the neurolinguistic programming and observing the neurolinguistic programming going on in my environment. And I've realized that there's things that I'm not doing that I normally do every day, like sing little lullabies to the kitty cats and just get distracted into that. This whole play with the kitty cat thing, like poor kitty cats, I'm not playing with them as much. But I don't think it's because of stress or anything else going on. I think it's because I'm noticing what's been going on, and I'm not as trusting. And if you don't trust your hypnotist and you're constantly hypervigilant about what they're doing, they're not going to be able to hypnotize you, at least not as easily. So since I've been watching my back, there's like this wall of suppression that's broken down that's just built up for years. Because, okay, say for example someone is hypnotized neurolinguistically, covertly, and they don't know what's going on, and they actually feel one way, but they're forced into behaving another way. That could cause so much suppression that would just build up and just break out all once. Well, I don't ever try to suppress myself because I was forced into suppression as a child, and I know that it's just really mentally detrimental because there's always an explosion after a whole bunch of suppression. So I think it's really important to consider that this technique could be used on a lot of people, this childlike state. And when I was reading about the trauma-based aspects of it, where it doesn't have to be a lot of physical pain, but if you think you're going to die, you're way more likely to be hypnotized easily. Well, that was my situation for years, where I did have pain, but it wasn't like broken bones type of pain. It was inflammation and torment, but most of it was it was a lot of weird symptoms, but the impending death, that puts someone into a really easily hypnotizable state. And I've just been learning about it and reading about it, and I want to just put that piece of the puzzle in, because it's like a Stepford wife thing or something. Like, keep somebody from being independent, make them accept dependency, make them discredited through silly behavior, and they stop them from accomplishing long-term goals. Now, I've accomplished some goals, but I think most of that's just to keep me busy, trying to survive. Like designing and building a tiny house. You know, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't been clever by saving up money over an extended period of time. But even so, it's just like keep me busy all the time. So I can't focus on anything long-term influential. And I really think that the main goal with these people in the beginning of my targeting was to separate me from my musically oriented friends, because those are the people I was separated from the fastest and first. The one friend that played music all the time and taught me guitar, and we used to play and sing together, that friend I was separated from. And before him was another friend that I used to go to concerts with and that always played music. And, you know, those are the people that I was separated from at first. And then I was made so sick that I didn't have time to play guitar and to keep playing and keep writing songs and stuff, because I was always on the nebulizer machine trying to breathe. I was always trying to figure out what to do. I was caught in so many double binds where I didn't know what to eat. Everything I ate made me sick. Everything I did, nothing stopped it. It's like this hypnosis. And then, you know, because I didn't go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I didn't fall into the Social Security mental illness trap. I didn't go to the hospital when I was dying. I basically manipulated the doctors into getting me a nebulizer machine, and I was very manipulative. I admit it. I had to do that to survive, because they wouldn't have given me that if I hadn't. They would have had me on steroids until I was dead from Morgellons taking over my body or something, you know. Because I didn't fall for those traps. And maybe because I had some outside help at the time, too, from family that is no longer with me, they sent in a hypnotist to put me in a childlike state, or to keep me dependent, because I refused to fall for the Social Security trap and lose all my rights. Because that's what happens. I watched it happen to my dad, and it happens to a lot of people. If you fall into the trap of psychologists and psychiatrists and you get committed, somebody else takes over your money. If you have property, somebody else takes over that. Somebody takes over everything. And, you know, there's double binds everywhere in my life right now. The main one being multiple chemical sensitivities, which involves the limbic system and amplified neurons. And, you know, I don't understand all that stuff, but there's similarities, and I really believe that they are intentionally causing that in people, or it's a side effect of what they're doing, and that's why people end up with multiple chemical sensitivities and electromagnetic sensitivities. Another thing I want to mention is headphones. I didn't buy these, but I've used them, and they make my ears all messed up. It says ear pollution on it. So if you're using headphones, you might be electromagnetic sensitive and they're making things worse. Maybe try like playing the music instead of using the headphones, or get some of those low EMF headphones that have like an air thing going to your ear. I haven't tried them yet. I'm looking into it. But those had a really high reading even when they were unplugged. So anybody using headphones, check the EMF on them or get something better. They're not helping. Those make my ears feel really weird after just about an hour or half hour or so. So that's something that, you know, I think a lot of TIs don't realize, is that you might be electromagnetic sensitive and not know it because of what they've done to your limbic system. That, I think it's the left side. For me, it's the left side all the way down here. It's just been tense for like 9 years straight. And if I touch it, it gets all tingly and it starts to release some of the energy, but it was never like that before this started. And I don't know how to express. I guess I just need to study more and find the connections between multiple chemical sensitivities, electromagnetic sensitivity, any kind of environmental illness, and these programs, because I really think they're related. And not in every case, but in many cases. So watch out for those headphones.